All right, it's time for another and now for something horrible. So today I wanted to talk about bagworms, but a very specific kind of bagworm. So if you aren't familiar with these creatures, it's a type of moth and caterpillar. This is the adult moth. This is an adult male. Generally speaking, the males are the ones that can fly really well. The females frequently don't have wings, or they have tiny wings and they can't fly. But this little cocoon thing, if you ever see it on one of your trees, and you might, this is the bagworm case, and there is a caterpillar that lives inside of this. And generally speaking, its head will be down here. Let me turn this to green so you can see this a little better. Its head will be on this end, and its body will be kind of up in here. And it will generally like hang from, you might see them hanging from like cedar trees or pine bushes, things like that. Frequently I've seen them on any sort of like evergreen tree. They frequently try to make their little cases from pine needles, and this is kind of what they look like when they're not in there, or when they're partially out of their case. They can carry their case with them, and they generally just kind of drag it along and hang it up sometimes, and then they feed on little pine needles or leaves or whatever plant they happen to be on, and they tend to be kind of host specific. But then they take the little leaves and they stick into their case, and they use this little case for protection, and then they'll pupate inside this case. And the males will usually leave. The females will frequently stay in their case, and the males will come to them so that they are protected during reproduction. And you might be thinking, well, why is this horrible? Aren't they kind of cute as they can walk around with their little case in the air, and they're protected from predators? Well, this isn't the one I wanted to talk about. So this is generally what a cycad looks like. Kind of bland. They usually have either clear wings or very hairy wings, or in this case scaly wings because it's a Lepidoptera, but they tend to either be clear winged or very fuzzy. But there's this really cool species called Paraskeptis carnivora. And this is what it looks like. This is the adult. So it's a little more colorful than its sibling cycads. But unlike other cycads, and really unlike pretty much any other caterpillar, this guy is carnivorous. This creature was first described in 2008 from Panama, from the jungles of Panama, and they didn't really realize what they had at first because they had seen lots of bagworms, but this one wasn't host-specific. It was all over the place. It was on lots of different plants, and that is because it doesn't really eat plants. It only eats other critters. So what it does is the female will lay little eggs and wrap them in fine golden sedal cases. She makes the setae from her own body, these little hairs, and she wraps them for protection. Mostly because they will eat each other if they're not protected. And she also lays decoy cases so that predators can't find them. But once they start to develop into the caterpillars, they hang their little cases from whatever substrate, and they hang down, and they begin possibly attracting hosts in with a pheromone, or not hosts, but prey in with a pheromone. And so the host prey comes in, like, oh, what is this? And they lunge out of the case and grab them and pull them in. And then once they consume them, they stick their corpses to the outside of the case. So like the other bagworms that make their little cases from plants, from the plants that they live on, this one makes the cases from the corpses of their prey that they've consumed. So this thing has like little tergites and decapitated heads, legs sticking on it, all sorts of things, and it just keeps adding to the corpse pile on its back until it eventually pupates, and the life cycle starts all over again. So now we have carnivorous caterpillars. You probably never thought that existed, but there you go. Talk to you guys later. Like and subscribe.